Hey, good evening, everyone. So, we are here for another live session. Actually, I had three live sessions today, but the second one wasn't on my profile, it was on another guy's profile, and who sort of invited me to discuss about property and challenges I faced when I went into business. Right now, we've got third session of the day with Raji, who has joined us from Change with Raji, who deals with um, getting small businesses and entrepreneurs off to a better start. So I would like to know about this a lot because there are a lot of people out there that are wanting to start a new business, don't know the right way of to go about it. So I'm going to bring on Raji in a moment. Let's take her on live.
Hey, no, you're not. I'm going live again, and then I'll send you a no. I'll send you a notification. All right, super, no problem. So yes, I don't know what happened there, but I will send a notification right now. Yeah. So we've got Raji coming on, who provides business acumen to young and upcoming entrepreneurs. Send her an invitation. Here we go.
Woo! Got there.
Hello, good evening. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, no, not at all. How are you? All well?
I'm very, very well, thank you.
Good. Where are you based, Raji?
Birmingham.
How's the weather there? How's things over there?
Oh, good actually. I mean, it's not too bad. Have a look. It's a bit grey today, but it's gonna get sunny on the weekend. So looking
Oh,
forward
well,
to that one.
the weekend's a few days away now.
Absolutely, can't wait.
Um, so we spoke about coming on live and discussed about how I've seen your profile. I'm sort of following
hmm
you in what you do, young up and coming entrepreneur in terms of helping businesses, helping young established or just want to be established businesses on the right path. And I want to know more. I mean, I'm in business. I've been in business for the past 11 years.
hmm
But the reason for me to do this right now during this lockdown, uncertainty, times are tough. A lot of people don't know where they're going, what they're doing, and I want to share the knowledge
hmm
because for me, sharing knowledge only increases knowledge. And
Uh-huh.
I'm getting different people from different backgrounds all over the world to share their life, their career, or how they
hmm
can sort of change the world or just inspire one person out of this conversation. If we inspire one person, we've done the good deed. So before we start, Raji, I want you to introduce yourself as to who you are, what you do, and then we can get the conversation going.
Perfect. So obviously my name's Raji. I'm actually the founder of Change Branding. So we basically help new businesses get off the ground. As you know, branding is so important now more than
Absolutely.
ever. To have a
Absolutely.
brand that people can recognize, that people can relate to, that people can understand is basically it's like a house. If the foundations of if the bricks aren't right at the bottom, if it doesn't start off right, then it doesn't matter how pretty you make the house, it's going to fall down. So
It's
me
gonna fall down.
personally, I believe branding is that foundation where you can kind of establish who you are in the best possible way and also what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, the reason why we chose to focus on new businesses was firstly, we have the resources to be able to afford them, to be able to charge them affordable prices. So obviously, sometimes, as we know, branding can be very expensive and new
Yep.
businesses don't have that type of money, along with trying to get resources for their own business and get it off the ground. They don't have hundreds and thousands of pounds to be spending on a website. So because we can charge lower prices because of our resources sources we use. That's why we focus on new businesses financially, but also because for me personally, I mean, I love working with passionate people. So when you're working with somebody who actually wants their brand to do well, it's a lot easier, and you get to be part of that journey. So we're not about that kind of quick revolving door strategy. We prefer to have long lasting relationships where to see, you know, when they start off, where they are in 5 years, 10 years time. And the fact that we're part of that journey, I see every client that I have as a business partner, not as a client. So we're actually working together to achieve a goal. So yeah, I mean, changebranding.uk is the website if you guys want to have a look at that. We do a numerous amount of different services. Now, obviously Change with Raji, that's a platform that I created to adapt to COVID-19. So as we know, everyone's kind of struggling a little bit at the moment because it just happened so quick, so abruptly, nothing that any of us expected.
There was no notice given.
Absolutely, absolutely. So once the denial stage was over, everyone kind of had to sit down and think, shit, what about my business? So also that includes changing your whole entire business strategy. So I wanted to create a platform of people from different industries because, I mean, like you said, like you can learn anything from everywhere. Like I've spoken to people in the music industry, I've spoken to people in the car industry, I've spoken to people in property industry, and the information is so applicable. Imagine if you had the knowledge from every industry and applied it to your own business, like how much more current would it be? How much more exciting would it be what you showcase, you know? Because yeah.
Just a question before we get carried away into the whole conversation. What I wanted to ask you is, so I know, so your business deals with the right branding and the right marketing for a new and upcoming business, correct?
Yeah, new.
Hello. Hello. Raji. I don't know what's wrong there, but give her a moment. Sorry, I don't know what happened there, guys, but she should be on again. Here we go. Send.
There we go. I don't know what happened
Sorry.
first.
I've had this situation where internet at this sort of time screws
Yeah,
up.
I know, right?
So
All those
we were
Netflix serials people are watching.
Netflix or
Get off Netflix, guys.
like Paul Chaudhary says, you know, we're Asians. We live in a family where there are 30 people in the home. One's watching ZTV, one's watching Star Plus, one's on Netflix. Anyways, but we're not 30 people. We're only 5 in my house. I don't know about yours, but yeah. So just before we got cut off, I was saying that your business deals with the right branding and the right marketing strategy for a new and upcoming business, correct? Did you always have this in your brain, in your mind, that you wanted to do this? I mean, at university or college, did you do something different to what you're doing right now?
To be fair, no, it wasn't something that I always thought about. I didn't kind of like wake up one day and was like, oh, I'm going to do branding. It was sort of like just a journey. I feel like when you utilize all options that come your way, you tend to open yourself up to more information, and you start to channel your way and find what you're good at, what you're not good at. My background is mostly actually in sales. So I've worked in sales all my life. I've sold, you know, you name it, I've sold it. And then of course, and I was actually very involved
Retail, you mean retail high street selling, or no?
Yeah,
I
did high street selling. I did door to door. I did street selling. I've done all platforms of sales, and I was heavily involved in kind of the direct sales marketing industry. So I went from that. So understanding how direct sales and all that stuff works. Now we're moving into a more digital era, and I kind of accidentally fell into sort of indirect marketing, and then I started learning about that. And then obviously I'm quite creative. I love like making things and seeing the finished product and putting time into that sort of stuff. And then obviously I met a business partner, and he was very techie, very good at all that stuff. And then we kind of put our brains together and we came up with this.
You mentioned direct marketing and
Mm-hmm.
indirect marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that the digital world that we're living in right now,
Mm-hmm.
everyone is trying to promote their business with an indirect method of promoting that business? And
Absolutely. Yeah.
when I say indirect, I mean you go onto Instagram profiles, right? And
Mm-hmm.
people are sort of like, for example, me. I deal with properties. If you go onto
Mm-hmm.
my profile, you will
Mm-hmm.
see the postings that I do normally are all about property, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now I've started during this lockdown and these 3, 4, 6 weeks now we're in lockdown. Um, I've started to do these live sessions with people.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, where I was direct marketing my properties, even to this day, I have a couple of posts during the day that are about property. But
Mm-hmm.
the other posts are like me doing IGTV videos, live sessions,
Mm-hmm.
which are then converted into IGTV videos and posted there. So is that a good mix to have between direct and indirect marketing? So you attract
Absolutely.
people towards your uh, business, towards your profile, and then you sort of pitch it to them.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think it doesn't matter sort of what order you use it in. They're both
Okay.
exceptionally powerful tools. I think when you're getting your business off the ground, obviously you want to make revenue straight away. To get it
Yep.
off the ground, you're going to need to do direct marketing. I mean, when I first started Change Branding, I was actually calling loads of new businesses in the area. I
Yep.
was calling loads of businesses in the UK. I was going to meet them directly face to face. I was pitching the business to them. I was talking about their current branding and how we can make it better. And then that's how I started getting my first initial clients in. Now, of course, the beauty of indirect marketing is you can access hundreds and thousands of people. So if you can actually combine the two, it's a very, very powerful tool for your business. And we're very lucky now, and especially in this whole corona situation, it has pushed a lot more people to use the indirect facilities that we have,
Indeed.
and obviously grow your business 10 times more.
It's that's a good piece of advice. Now, you mentioned about your resources during how you were sort of managing these
Mm-hmm.
businesses that you're advising. These
Mm-hmm.
resources, are they based in the UK or they're based outside the UK?
So
How
my
do
team
you?
actually,
Yeah.
so initially, when I first started, of course, like most people, you don't really have money. You have all these ideas, you have all these things to put in place. So you've got to find ways to adapt to get what you want. So my first initial thing was I put out a post for an intern. I
Okay.
wanted to find somebody who could help me with the creative stuff. Obviously, I'm good at thinking about the creative stuff, but you could give me a camera, I cannot work the thing. You know what I mean? So in terms of the technical stuff, I needed some help and advice on that. So I put out an ad for an intern. I started interviewing number of people because I didn't just want to get someone on board who's 18 years old doing a degree at university and wants a bit of experience. I needed someone who could also bring value to my business. So I actually met somebody who was from Croatia, who actually had his own agency in Croatia, worked with the top companies in Croatia, worked with influencers there, and I interviewed him. And this is where face to face comes in. This is something that's hard to do over the phone, to sell
Yep.
your idea to somebody. So
Yep.
obviously I sat down with him and I sold my vision, sold my idea to him. And of course he's now actually bought loads more extra to me that I didn't even think of. But obviously he believed in my vision. He believed in my journey. He believed in everything that I wanted to create. And then he jumped on board. And then that's how I started to build something. Now with that came a whole bunch of connections from
Yep.
obviously he ran a whole agency. He had a
Yep.
number of different people doing things. The
Yep.
beauty of it, because it's all in Croatia, their work is fantastic, but it's not appreciated in Croatia because Croatia's
Mm.
40 years behind when it comes to sort of like
I
technology
mean, I mean,
aspects.
coming to my business as well, that all my marketing, all
Yeah,
my social media is handled
yeah,
from Romania.
there you go. Yeah,
I mean, nothing that I do. The only thing I do in the UK is the UK properties, the London properties,
yeah,
and sell them in the UK to foreign investors to. But all the back end stuff, all the admin, the marketing, everything is looked after from Romania.
yeah.
So it's good to know that people use those avenues to sort of cut costs, because obviously over here, if you were to, and it's not that I have not hired a UK agency. I have hired a UK
Mhm.
agency. At first, it was all nice and good, you know,
Mm-hmm.
picture perfect, but then that just turned out to be the worst nightmare. After
Mm-hmm.
like 2, 3 months, it just
Mm-hmm.
turned
Well,
itself
I
into
mean that's where that's where branding comes in, because I think it doesn't really
exactly.
matter obviously where the company's from or anything like that, but if they have a brand that you can connect to, and then they can offer a good service to you, that's really where you kind of respect the company, and then you want to work with them longer and longer, you know?
But the fact is that even though they do offer their services, right? At first, when you're speaking to them, you're like, okay, I
Hi,
want this,
Matt.
I need that, and I need that, and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to delivery,
Yeah.
zero. You know, and that this is what I wanted to understand, that there are businesses out there, new and upcoming businesses, who don't know or don't have the right path as to which digital platform to go to, or which digital agency to go to help me out with my branding, with my marketing, with my social media. So how would you, as, let's say if I were a new business right now, okay,
Yeah.
and I came up to you and I said, Raji, I need my business, my brand to be up there. Obviously, it's not going to be
Mhm.
up there overnight. You need to work on it, you need to build on it. What would your plan be for someone like me as a new business? What would you say, and how would
Well,
you go about
I
it?
think we're at Change. We really believe that you need to give before you can get. So obviously, before we even start talking money and stuff like that, we need to really understand firstly the person behind the business. So we build relationship with them. We actually go for lunch together. Obviously, before COVID, we'll go for lunch together. We'll have a chat about the business. How did it start? Tell me. So I can obviously, working in sales all my life, I'm very good at understanding people. So just from finding out their character and who they are, that already tells me a lot about the brand and kind of what kind of sort of channel or what kind of direction to start going with. Then obviously comes the branding stuff, where it's like, how do you visualize it? Because your brand, it's
Yep.
like any big brand in the world, McDonald's, Tesco, etc. They've got a certain look about that, and it's about channeling that look all the way across. So we've branded vans for people, you know, we've branded shop fronts, we've branded lots of numerous different things, where that same kind of image, that feel, is all across the entire organization, brand, etc.
And this branding that you do,
Mm-hmm.
is that sort of linked with the social marketing, the digital marketing aspect,
Yeah,
or
yeah. I
you
mean,
just do the branding and then that's it, you're on your own and
no, it's an ongoing thing. So we don't really believe in sort of having contracts with people. So it's not like, oh, you have to be with us for 6 months, or we'll have to be with us for a year. It's sort of like some couple of clients ad hoc basis. Sometimes they don't have the money at all to invest, which is fine. We've actually done free bits for people here and there as well. That's where Change with Raj is coming. It's completely free branding that we're doing for these new companies, to create an interview for them, to create a platform, doing some cool videos for them. Because like I said, you have to give before you can get. So we like to prove to people what we can do before we actually go and ask for money, you know?
and the it's good to know that you're taking this step in terms of this lockdown right now to help these
Mm-hmm.
new businesses to take that step to build that platform for them. um, you said it's free.
Mm-hmm.
If it's free, then how do you pay yourself?
Cool. So right
Unless,
now, at this
yeah.
current moment, we're using the money that we already have. So we're investing our own money into the stuff that we're doing right now, which, to be honest, is not incredibly expensive stuff. It's just our time more than anything that we're investing in it. Which right now, as everyone knows, we have time more than anything else. But I believe in business, you have to look at the bigger picture, because at the end of the day, any of these companies that I'm interviewing and speaking to, when they think of branding, they're going to think of me straight away. It also gives me a better platform, so more people are seeing what I do. More people, it's building a portfolio at the same time as well. I'm now having more videos to showcase more stuff that I'm doing.
I
So
mean,
it's,
I saw the latest video of you rapping, which is great. So
yeah.
I'm sure.
I know, you never know, I might go into rap after this, you know.
Uh, so-
But that's it. It's about making cool ways for people to interact with the brand. I mean, many people probably didn't even know Mayday before they even saw, you know, what I was doing,
I
and
mean,
that's the cool
the
thing
thing
about
is,
it.
I did not. I mean, we've just met what, a week ago or something
Oh, yeah, about a week
on
ago,
social
yeah.
media, and I was actually the reason I saw your profile is because I was doing this live session with Shaman of
Yeah,
Pilot
yeah,
My Property,
yeah, he was
and
an interview we did, yeah.
through that, I sort of found that you've been doing you've been doing a talk show with him about his journey
Yeah.
into, and then a few points out there, and then I saw your profile change with Raji and everything, and that's what brought me onto this. Like, I want someone to give that, because it's all about digital presence. If
Yeah.
I'm attracted to your profile,
Yeah.
means that there is something about you that is causing me to come there and find out
Whew,
more
that's good to
information.
know.
I mean,
Thank God.
find more information, find more information
Yeah.
about you, and pass on that knowledge. Like you said, it's free. So if you can give this platform, like for example, right now, this story, this live session that we're doing right now is going to stay on for 24 hours on my profile, right?
Yeah.
My followers will look at it. New businesses within my followers, youngsters, all that kind of stuff will look at this, right? And they
Absolutely.
will possibly at the back of it come to you and say, even though it's free advice, let's say it's a half an
Mhm.
hour call of free advice, I'm
Mhm.
sure, would you be giving that half an hour free
Of
advice to them?
course, of course. Yeah. I mean,
There you
obviously
go.
we get phone calls all the time where people just want to have a chat about branding. Like, I think, look, we're moving into a new business. I call it, business 2.0. Like, we're moving into a new type of business now where 10 years ago, maybe you have a product and it starts selling straight away. Right now, that's not going to happen. So you have to find ways where you can give to people, give to people, give to people. And then you can start thinking about, once you've got value on your product or service, then you can start seeing really much more bigger rewards,
Absolutely. Um, how many sort of how many businesses have you advised so far since you've started this, since you've incorporated your company?
What change branding? So
Change
since
branding.
change branding started, I mean, when I first started, I was calling 100 businesses a day. So
Wow.
when I first started,
And
I was talking.
these were based in Birmingham, or no, all over the UK?
Actually, I was branching out, so I was obviously starting off in Birmingham, but I was doing it by industry. So I'd go to like the food industry and see the new businesses that I've opened up in the food industry, cross-checking them, cross-referencing them, and then obviously calling them, and then I'd make sure I speak to as many people as I can. So it's a law of averages, isn't it? So it's the more businesses I speak to, the more. The nice thing about businesses, especially new business owners, they're always willing to have a chat, And then it was a
Absolutely.
case of just kind of identifying who to go and see face to face and develop and find out if there is a need and develop it further. Because for some people, they're still in the very beginning stages where they don't want to think about branding just yet. They're still getting technical stuff. So they wouldn't be necessarily right to go and talk to. So obviously I was identifying which businesses were the ones that were relevant. And then I was going to see them. And sometimes I'd go and visit maybe 5-6 offices a day out of the people that I called, set up an appointment with them, go and speak to them. And then I was obviously pitching the business to them face to face and talking about their needs and stuff.
And on the back of that, I'm sure you won a few contracts out of it,
Yeah,
in terms
yeah.
of dealing with them. Um, what would your ideal business branding, or let's put it this way, what would your ideal client be like?
Mm-hmm. So I call them friends. I don't like calling them clients, but my ideal friend would be somebody that's super passionate about what they do. So if they're passionate about what they do, it's very easy for me to buy into it. I mean, I have gone to meetings where I've sat there and it's like, yeah, my dad gave me this business and now I've got to run it. So yeah, I need some good branding. And I've turned away businesses since I've opened up because I didn't feel like they was passionate about their product or service. And if they're not passionate about their product or service, for me, it's
How are
not
they going to
somebody.
how are they going to pass that passion on to you for you to work on
Exactly,
that?
exactly. And for
Yeah,
me, for that quick money, it's just not worth it. I'd much rather have long-lasting relationships with people that actually love what they do. That's why I chose this industry. That's why I chose new businesses. That's the biggest reason, because I just love working with passionate people. They're easier to work with as well.
so once you do the branding of the business, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you want to build long-term relationships with these businesses and see them
Mm-hmm.
prosper in the future.
Mm-hmm.
What follows after branding? I mean, what do you make sure that this particular company's brand not just stands out for a week, 10 days. Because any new
Mm-hmm.
business, you put nice fancy colors on it, orange, pink, this, that, the other,
Mm-hmm.
they will start standing out. But then it will come to a point where that's it. The orange, pink is
Well, I
gone.
think obviously what we have to remember is that with a new business, things are always changing. There's always new. We also help them to think about sort of like any events that they can get involved with, so we can market that as well. Any different avenues of things that their product or service is linked to, but at the same time remembering that their message might change slightly as time goes on, because maybe they find they seem to attract a market they didn't know that they would attract before. Then it's about applying the
This
branding,
is
making sure it
this is
fits that
weird.
market.
We've got someone from the Illuminati on our
I
live
know, I
chat.
just saw it,
It's
Illuminati
weird.
Global. That's strange. I am quite spiritual, to be fair, so maybe I'm bringing in this energy.
So
But yeah, so like things are going to always change, and that's the thing about a new business. So we're always going to have to make little changes there. I mean, you know, we've worked with a car company now. Constantly is getting new cars in, so we have to change the website. There's always going to be little developments of
so
elements
you
that are
look
going to continue to
after
change.
the branding, the website, the
Yeah, we
SEO,
do graphical design. We
the
help them.
graphic design.
Yeah, I mean, say 2 months later, you might decide to rebrand your logo again, which happens a lot. You know, people want to change. So they start off with a logo that they've drawn in their bedroom and they're like, oh, that looks cool. And then actually, as time goes on, their brand doesn't really, it's not correlating with the logo that they've got. So then obviously we need to change the logo. And there's obviously loads of different developments, but we always have follow-up calls. So we always like to make sure our clients are happy and with everything that they're seeing and all the work that we're doing.
I mean, I do get this thought in my mind sometimes. What if my logo was different? But then I've stuck with my logo for the past 12 years. So I don't.
Well, we can have a chat later.
Every time I thought about it, it just sort of moves away from there, because today's day and age, I feel, okay, yes, there is the logo, there are the colors of the business and everything, but it's also you.
Absolutely. But logo is your company is a reflection of you. So how
Exactly.
how your logo looks is a reflection of you. How your brand looks is a reflection of you. What your videos are like, what your content is like, everything that you post is a reflection of you.
So rather than, don't you think that people soon, rather than choosing their logos, will sort of put their pictures on the pro
Not
on the
necessarily. Because I think sometimes it's not the right thing to do. Obviously, some
Hmm.
people also, they don't like to be the face of the company either. They
I mean,
don't
I've
like to
spoken to
have.
a few people online, and I've told them to come on live sessions with me, and they're like, no, we're camera shy and this and that. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
there's
okay,
that
fine.
element of it as well. And also some people like to keep sort of personal and business separate, which I think is becoming increasingly harder as time goes on. But obviously, sometimes such a fantastic product or service. And
Yep.
then oh, I lost my, you can have such a fantastic product or service that actually maybe you might not need your own self out there, if that makes sense, you know?
I mean, I used to have my logo on my Instagram profile. This is just my Instagram profile. I used to have my business
Uh-huh.
logo there. But as time passed, I thought, hold on a second. This is more of a social professional platform that I'm dealing with out here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already got a business platform, which is LinkedIn, right? And on there,
Mm-hmm.
I've got my business profile, I've got my business company, I've got my own profile. But then I thought
Mm-hmm.
of changing the Instagram profile, just the display picture to my picture, because I want
Mm-hmm.
that social professional aspect shown on Instagram. And these days, I mean, I don't know. I was just speaking to another lady this morning, and I asked her that whether she uses Facebook or not. And you know, a lot of people are now being driven away from the norms of Facebook. You know,
I think it's how you use each platform. Obviously, Instagram, for example, is more for videos. It's more for great content. If you're just going to put sort of like, you wouldn't put articles on Instagram. You wouldn't. Some people do this, believe it or not. You wouldn't put sort of things that you're going to read on Instagram, because that's not what Instagram is for. It's more for content. It's more for videos. It's got a more of like a reality TV sort of aspect to it, and that's how you can use social media in the best way. Places like Facebook are still, even though may not seem it, they're still exceptionally relevant because they've got communities on Facebook now.
And not
People,
only communities, but they are. I mean, they've got what, 2.5 billion people using
mm-hmm,
Facebook, which is like the largest population on the planet. You know,
mm-hmm,
so yes, I can see that aspect that people do use Facebook for the right reasons, but then Instagram is capturing that momentum right now with a lot of people. Like, for example, even TikTok, right? The
yeah,
amount of people use it. TikTok was the highest downloaded app of 2019. Now,
yeah,
I I can just see people changing their social media usage
mm-hmm,
from different platforms now coming onto, for example, Instagram and TikTok.
mm-hmm,
And that is why I see a lot of people posting documents,
mm-hmm,
uh, uh, quotations, for example.
mm-hmm.
You get the quotations on Facebook, you get the quotations on LinkedIn, and now on Instagram also. So I can see a lot of repetitive stuff that's happening on Instagram, but a different way, kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
It's sort of it's good. It's good to see a lot of people using Instagram, but let's see. So coming back to your like, let's say once you mentioned that you brand the business, then you look after their SEOs, their websites, their graphic
Mm-hmm.
designing, their social media posts. I'm sure you look after that as well.
Yeah.
What would be the right way of posting content in your eyes?
Like I said, it's different platforms would be different. Instagram better for videos. LinkedIn's really good for like promoting your articles and stuff like that. I'd say Facebook is really good for communities and finding the right people that are interested in what you do. TikTok, again, video. So it just depends on every single platform and what your product and services and how you can implement and change it to suit each platform. So it'd be like a lot to go into now, but again, it's just about adapting it. As long as your company is adapting with the times, and that's all that matters. As long as it's moving. Obviously, we've seen so many examples of companies that haven't adapted with times. Kodak, Blockbuster, all these big companies, Thomas Cook, they just didn't adapt, and that's why
Primark.
they failed. Yeah, exactly. So as long as you are adapting and you're also innovating and thinking about the content that you're posting, if you think about, like, for example, reality TV. Okay, reality TV probably at the moment has the most viewers in the world. People love to watch it because it's real, it's raw. You know what I mean?
It's there.
It's you. That's it. So platforms like Instagram are fantastic for stuff like that. You know what I mean? Gary Vee is a great example on how he posts things as well. He actually said TikTok will be the next biggest platform before anyone even anticipated it. He was telling people to download it and post videos on TikTok, and people weren't really doing it. And then boom, before you know it, TikTok became huge, and then now everyone's posting on TikTok. So it's also about looking at different trends and seeing kind of what the
I
next
I
sort of
I've downloaded the TikTok app about 3 times and deleted it. I just can't figure my way out
again,
of how
it's
to
got to be
use it.
useful to you. I mean, I have some clients that they're not on Instagram, for example, because they just don't need to be. You know what I mean? It just, every single business is different, so it just depends what goal, what you want to get out of your business. Not every business wants to have, thousands and thousands of customers. Believe it or not, some people just want 10 solid customers that are going to be advocates of their brand. Like, that's what it's about. It's about building loyal community of advocates, people that really buy into you, people that really buy into your brand, or one or the other, or both. You know what I mean?
So you think having a lot of followers is not the key thing, but having the followers that actually follow you and your business is key.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's not about, people have said to me, "Oh, Raji, if I give you this much budget, can you just go and buy me some followers?" And I said, I categorically, and believe it or not, every single agency, all agencies do that. That's, you go and pay the money, and all they're doing is buying some followers for you with that money. And I will categorically never buy followers, not for myself and not for my brands, because then I'm not being honest with them. You need to build a loyal advocate of people that buy into what you're doing, because they're going to
And
stick
not only
around for
that, but
longer.
these it's good that you touched upon this point, because I wanted to have an understanding on this. I never thought that we would come up with this conversation, but let's carry this on. people go out and buy these followers on
Yeah.
Instagram, for example.
Yeah.
Are these even real people?
No, they're not real, but they're robots. You know, sometimes like you might put a sticker on your story and then you get like, you might say, like yesterday I put one, I said, guess what dessert this is? And I had a lot of ones that said, congratulations, you've won an iPhone 11. And it's just robotic responses that you get. And you always know when the followers are bought because they'll have like 51,000 followers and 100 likes. Because at the end of the day, if you have such a big following, more people would be looking at your stuff, more people
Yeah,
would be liking your stuff. Again, likes are irrelevant. Something like Instagram, grateful videos. If you look at your videos, you can see your views. You can see thousands and thousands of views. And that's so much better. Even if only 5 people liked it, that means 1,000 people viewed it. You know what I mean? That's more
exactly.
important to kind of
I mean, that's
look at
why
that
I
sort of
always go
data.
into, when I post something or post a video or post a photo, I always check the insights of how many people it's actually
Yeah,
reached, how many likes have I got,
there you go.
comments obviously are posted, so you see the
And I
comments as they
think
come.
because obviously I deal with new and small businesses, I always like to drill it in their head. When they start off, just don't look at stuff like that. It's just not relevant. Don't worry about how many followers you have straight away because you're building it. It's like looking at the first few bricks of a house and thinking, this is what my house is going to look like. Fuck this. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to look like that in the end. So just focus on it bit by bit by bit. Even if your following is growing every day by 3 or 4 people, it doesn't matter. Those 3 or 4 people first are real people, you know, and they're actually going to look at your stuff. And obviously then the engagement starts and you start getting a build from there. But yeah, I categorically would never buy followers. I'd never recommend anyone to buy followers. It's just
And I think
it's
Instagram has got a policy of blocking or banning people
yeah.
that sort of go out and buy bots and carry their business that way.
Hmm.
I mean, there was a big policy change that Instagram had. I think last year at some point.
Yeah, it puts a block if you buy too many followers. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, it put also things like sending direct messages and engaging a lot. They start thinking that
Yeah.
it's bots. I
The
mean,
thing is, we're in a society where people like to do things to just for the show, you know, because you go onto an Instagram profile and it's like, oh, 50,000 followers, cool, that looks cool. But there's no real brand advocates there. People are not believing in what you do because they're robots at the
exactly,
end of the day. Do you know what I mean? They're not real
exactly.
people. So that's why when it comes to my own clients, I find ways to build their following generically. I'd rather spend the money that they've spent on things that are actually useful for their brands, things that are actually going to help them. Ideally, everyone wants to make money at the end, right? Everybody wants to grow their
That's
bank
the end
account. That's
goal.
the
That
whole
is
point.
the end goal.
That is the end goal. Now, when they say to me, okay, so this is another type of client that I wouldn't take on. I sit down with them and say, how many products can I sell after 1 month? No, sorry, I'm not the right business for you. That's not what I'm here for. If you're looking for an instant sale, get yourself a salesperson, which I could have done once, but not now. If you want to actually build a brand that's going to reflect you, that's going to reflect your product and service, and then in a year, 5 years, 10 years, that brand is still there and it's still doing well, okay, I can work with you. Do you know what I mean? So
That's
be careful, just for everyone that's watching, be careful of those agencies that will say, we'll increase your sales by this much through Instagram and Facebook. That's not what social media platforms are for. Social media platforms are to get more people. If 10,000 people know about you, 10,000 real people know about you, more people are going to likely to buy your product or service. That's how it links. It's not sort of like, oh, you've got 50,000 followers, you make 50,000 sales. It's not like that at all.
And do you also, like you spoke about businesses, obviously there are high street food, car business, and all that kind
Mm-hmm.
of stuff. Are you also branching out into branding people who are doing e-commerce business, like for example, selling on Amazon or eBay or
That is something that we are
Shopify?
actually, believe it or not, something we're actually looking into because they are making a lot of money, as we know, and it is an industry that's doing well. And if I meet the right person who can talk about that, then I definitely will get them on the channel.
Um, Talk about that, meaning in terms of how to do the business there or what to
Somebody
do
who's doing
to
it,
brand.
somebody who's doing it. Yeah. Someone who's in
Uh,
it, someone who's doing it.
I mean, if you go to my profile and you
Yeah.
see a video that I did with Ali Kerai of Stella Wholesale,
Okay.
he deals with Amazon and eBay selling,
Ali
and we've
Kelly.
all Ali Kerai. I'll write it here for you.
Yeah,
Just
you
hold
can
on.
send it to me afterwards. That'll be cool.
And yeah, it's there. And Stella Wholesale is his company.
Okay.
And he basically sells on Amazon and eBay. And what we've done is in the past 3 videos, we've had sessions of basically him talking a generalized aspect of what selling on Amazon and eBay is, how to set up an account on Amazon and eBay. And right now we did the last one yesterday, which is finding the right products to sell on Amazon. So do have a conversation with him. I'm sure he would be a
Absolutely, I
great
will do.
person. He would be a great person to speak to. Like the thing is, I have a group of 6 to 7 friends, close friends,
Yeah.
close, tightly knitted, same community, everything. Out of the 6 or 7 of us, I'm the only one that's doing real estate. The rest are all into Amazon and eBay selling.
Okay.
One selling salt products on there, one selling household goods on there, one selling.
No, it's a great platform. Yeah.
You know, I mean, and right now these guys are thriving. You know, and even they told me that Murtaza, you know, you should take this on and start selling on Amazon and this and that. And I was like, yeah, for 1 second I was like, okay, maybe this is the right way. But then the next day I woke up and
because you're not passionate about it. That's it.
No, not passionate. It's not about being passionate. It's about, okay, I thought about it, and then the next morning I had an offer on one of my properties. So I was like, okay, Amazon, see you later.
That's a sign from the universe.
Exactly.
That's God saying nope.
You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's the thing that I've spent all these years in doing property. I can't just switch that off because of COVID and say that, okay, I'm going to get into.
This is what I'm trying to showcase. Like, people don't need to. There are so many people that I've spoken to that became very disheartened when the whole situation happened, because it's like, oh no. I mean, the next person I'm interviewing on the channel is a guy called True Powell. So he's actually a multi-award business owner. So he's got multiple different businesses that he's won awards for. He was on Good Morning Britain, and he himself said, he was like, when it first happened in the denial stage that everybody was in, he was like, I kind of felt like, shit, have I just wasted the last 10 years? Because straight away you do think, oh my God, what am I going to do? But then after that initial sort of process, you think, okay, how can I adapt? Every single business, whatever business you're in, you can adapt to it, to the current times, and continue to profit from it.
That is a great piece of advice. I mean, and one last question before you go.
Yeah.
How would you like to inspire the young generation? I know you're young, but
yeah,
the young and upcoming
kind of.
generation that's sort of stuck in the limbo of, where are we going? Like you said, what are we doing? Denial stage.
I mean, the beauty of today is that we have loads of resources available. You know, we have people that are leading from the front. I'd like to say myself, like, I'm one of them, and I'm creating a platform out there for you to take a look at ordinary people that are making money. I think we have so much information from people that have done it 10 years ago that are like, you can do it, you can win every day. And it's all this great motivation, but it's not giving us the nitty gritty on how we can make money and how we can get started. Probably because they don't remember, because they did it such a long time ago in a different climate. So I think getting inspiration doesn't have to be from Change with Raji, but even like the live videos that you're doing now, getting inspiration from different people in different industries that are still putting content out there, that are still, that you can still see action happening. It's all about action, you know. Absolutely. If you can still see action happening, take a look at what they're doing, reach out to them. Everyone I've interviewed so far on my channel, they've said we'd be more than happy to take people on. You know, I've had people that have spoken in wedding events industry. Like, come on, like, how the hell do you carry on with wedding events in a time like this? You know what I mean? So that it shows you, it doesn't matter what industry it is, you can find a way to adapt, whether that's through selling things online, or whether that's through, or even using this time to change your brand so that it's the elastic band theory, so that when COVID does lift off, because okay, whatever happens, let's remember that COVID is going to lift, it's going to stop at some point, and yeah, things will start to go back to normal, but they will never go back to normal because now all the people that did put action in this time, the people that did adapt, they've now learned new things that they're going to
Exactly.
adapt on top of their existing strategies. So their businesses are going to do 10 times better than they were doing before COVID happened. So I'd say, you know, that's that basically. Like, you got to not be afraid of change. We was all
Yep.
afraid of change at some point in our
I mean,
lives.
for a week, I would say that I was stuck, and I was like, "What the fuck am I going to do? What am I going to
So
do?
was
What
I.
am I
I mean,
going?"
obviously,
You
doing
know?
branding for new businesses that have taken a bit of hit. The last thing I wanted to do was call them up and say, "Here, spend X amount of money." I just didn't feel right in my ethos to do that. So that's why I found another way to approach the situation where I can still bring value to people and it will still make money in the longer run. But yeah, like I said, you got to not be scared of change. We're not afraid of change. That's why we call change.
But I think I'll leave you on that note. It's been absolutely a pleasure knowing about branding, marketing,
Yeah.
social media, how to
Thank
use
you.
social media at your best advantage, how to use technology the right way that you can thrive in your business. And obviously, the main and important thing is change. Change with time.
Absolutely.
Bring that
Absolutely. Check out
opportunity to your doorstep and help your business, help yourself. So thank you so much for
fantastic.
joining me. It's been a great
No, thank you
pleasure.
so much for having me. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed talking about it. So yeah, I really do appreciate it. And guys, please change _with _Raji. Also the YouTube channel as well if you want some inspiration, and the website changebranding.uk.
When are you releasing the full rap video?
I think it's on YouTube now. We've released it.
Oh, you've
give
released the
it give
full
it a look.
version. I'll have a look at it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. Super. Thank you so much, Raji,
Thank you
and I'll
so
speak to you
much. Bye
soon.
bye. Take
Bye
care.
bye. Bye.
See you
See
later.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Well, that was Raji from Change with Raji, and it was a great pleasure having her on, seeking or speaking about different strategies of how to adopt your branding, your marketing, your digital presence in today's day and age. So, if you want to know more and you want to rebrand your business, or you want to just take a bit of advice, go and hit up Change with Raji on her business profile or her personal profile and speak to her, DM her, and I'm sure she'll be able to give you the advice that you need. So, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much to all those that tuned in. Have a great rest of the Monday evening. Take care, guys. Bye bye.